My husband had vanished for 3 years, and his family forced me out. Waiting at the bus station with my child, I froze when his sister arrived in a sleek luxury car and whispered, "Get in. I have something important to tell you." And that, right there, is where everything in my life split into a before and an after. Before that moment, I thought I was just another abandoned wife in a small town, a woman surviving off hope and heartbreak. But after that moment, I realized I had been living inside a web of secrets, so deep, so cleverly hidden, that every beat of my life had been controlled by the very people who pretended to call me family. So before I take you into this story, I want you to remember one thing. Sometimes the truth doesn't rescue you. Sometimes it arms you. And sometimes it gives you the power to rise up, reclaim everything that was taken from you, and return a storm no one sees coming. Now let me tell you how I became that storm. When I slid into the passenger seat of her car, I could still feel the cold of the bus station bench on my skin. My little boy sat in the back seat, clutching his worn-out teddy bear, his eyes bouncing between me and the woman who had barely spoken to us in 3 years. Her perfume filled the car, strong and expensive, a scent belonging to someone who didn't worry about grocery bills or overdue rent notices. For a moment, no one spoke. The purr of the luxury engine swallowed the silence until she finally exhaled, long and shaky, like she had been holding her breath for years. "He didn't vanish," she said. "He left." My fingers tightened around the seatbelt. "I know he left. You think I didn't feel it every day?" She shook her head slowly, her hands trembling on the steering wheel. "No, you don't understand. He left because he thought you would never find out what he did." At first, her words didn't make sense. My husband had always been complicated, distant, traveling for work, never fully present, but I had never imagined he was hiding something this big. She looked at me, her eyes wet, as if she hated the truth she was about to hand me. "He's living in Chicago," she said quietly. "And he's not alone." The world tilted. I gripped the dashboard to steady myself. 3 years. 3 years of waiting, praying, begging his family for help. 3 years of them shutting doors, ignoring calls, pushing me and my child out of their lives like we never mattered. My voice cracked. "Why are you telling me this now?" She swallowed hard. "Because you deserve to know, and because he's planning something that affects you." I felt a sharp ache in my chest. "What?" She hesitated, then whispered, "He filed paperwork to cut you off completely. He wants the courts to believe you abandoned him." My heart thudded painfully. "Abandoned him? He disappeared." She nodded slowly, shame filling her voice. "His new partner has money. A lot of it. Enough to make people believe lies." Anger ignited inside me. Not wild, not messy, but focused, sharp, and cold. A new kind of strength. The kind that comes from betrayal so deep you can't even cry yet. "Take me home," I said. "No," she replied, straightening her posture. "I'm taking you to him." Those words struck me like lightning. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to run. But a far bigger part of me, the part that had been sleeping for years, suddenly woke up. If he thought I was weak, if he thought I would hide, if he thought he could erase us, he was about to learn exactly who he underestimated. The drive to Chicago felt endless. My son slept against the window, unaware of the storm gathering inside his mother. As the city skyline rose ahead of us, shining and powerful, I felt that same power gathering in my chest. When we finally stopped in front of a high-rise building that screamed luxury, I realized something important. He had traded us for this. For money, for convenience, for a life where he could pretend his responsibilities didn't exist. His sister placed a hand on mine. "Before we go in, you need to know something else. He told everyone you were unstable, that you couldn't handle motherhood. That's why our parents sided with him." My stomach twisted. But instead of crying, I felt something calmer, stronger. "Good," I said. She blinked in confusion. Good. Yes, I whispered. If he built his new life on lies, then I'll bring the truth. Lies crumble when someone finally stands up. We walked into the building, and I felt eyes on me from every polished corner. The elevator ride was silent, but my mind wasn't. I was rewinding every moment of our marriage, every suspicious trip, every night he came home late, every time he told me I was imagining things. I wasn't imagining anything. I was being played. When the door opened to his apartment, I heard laughter, a woman's laughter, and then I heard his voice. My knees weakened for half a second. Then I steadied myself. His sister knocked once and pushed the door open. The room fell silent. My husband's face drained of color. The woman beside him looked confused. My son peeked from behind me, rubbing his eyes. "Daddy," he whispered. Something in my husband's expression flickered. Guilt, fear, shame, whatever it wasn't love. Not anymore. "We need to talk," I said, my voice calm but edged with steel. "About the lies, about the paperwork, about the truth. You're terrified." "I'll tell." His partner looked at him sharply. "What paperwork?" he stammered, but I stepped forward. "The paperwork claiming I abandoned him. The paperwork designed to erase me and my child so he could rewrite his life." His sister folded her arms. "Tell her, or I will." For the first time in years, he looked small, weak, cornered. And in that moment, I realized the truth. I didn't come here for revenge. I came here for justice. Revenge was just the consequence of his actions, not my intention. His partner stood, furious. "You lied to me?" She backed away from him, disgusted. The room exploded into accusations. Hers, his sister's. But I stayed quiet, letting every word fall exactly where it needed to. Then I leaned close and said softly, "You tried to bury me. You tried to bury your own son. But you forgot something." He glared at me. "Forgot what?" "That buried things don't always stay down. Sometimes they rise." And with that, I turned to leave, knowing the collapse of his perfect life had already begun. As the elevator doors closed, I made myself a promise. I would rebuild my life better, stronger, brighter, and he would watch from the ruins of the lies he created. And if you're listening to my story right now, remember this. Never let someone else decide your worth, your strength, or your future. If you've ever been betrayed, abandoned, or underestimated, hit that subscribe button and stand with people who rise back up. This is only the beginning.